Hey you, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So the big question, who is this video for? If you are a CEO or a very senior leader in a business and you're struggling to find some quiet space for you to do some strategic thinking, and you're just gobbled with all the little tasks and to-dos and the operational stuff, well, then this video might just be for you to help you find that place to create some space for yourself to really get in the flow and to approach strategic thinking and problem solving. So I'm just gonna go and start with what helps me to find that space, because it's really hard to do some strategic thinking when you're sitting at your desk in your home office or your office, and notifications are popping off, emails coming in, this happening, that happening, maybe co-workers are around, everybody's trying to, catch a bit of your attention, to get some questions answered and so on. And it's very hard to then put yourself into that space. Some people manage to do that by buying those headphones that have noise cancellation and putting some soft music on, but I think it's still very hard. I really think that we need some change of environment. So I've done a lot of experimentation on myself to try and figure those things out, like where can I really put myself in the right environment. And for me, two things really work the best. And maybe you can try those two things. Maybe you can play around a little bit. Maybe you'll find something else that works for you. Or if you already did and it's different than what I'm going to explain, then just please leave a comment. Share with us what works for you, what kind of environment gets you in the zone, in the flow. So one is nature. Especially for me, water. I love water. I love the sound of waves and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to find places where I can find a quiet place, somewhere to sit down, just pen and paper, just old school style. Because if I try to do it on the iPad, and iPad is an amazing device, too many notifications, there's that. It's just too easy to go into something else. I can't do it on the iPhone because, well, chubby fingers. And so for me, pen, paper is really important thing. And I did a whole lot of research to find the best notebook that works for me, which has a little bit thicker paper, so it's a little bit more waxy, and the right pens to go with that, so that the experience is really enjoyable. I know, little things. Maybe to most of you it will be like, this guy is crazy, like what has a pen and paper to do with it? But it just puts me more easily in that flow. It's just more inviting for me to start drawing and sketching and mind mapping and writing down things. So somewhere near water. It can be, a nice chill out cafe, or it can be just a place in the nature that's very inviting and where I can hear the sound of the nature and not much of the surroundings. So not in the middle of a busy city next to the sea where you have cars and everything around you. So it needs to be a nice quiet place. The second thing, which might be strange, is hotel lobbies, 5-star hotel lobbies. There's just something about it. They're like huge. They usually have some lighting effects, so it's a little bit, darker. Often there's nobody there, so you can just sit, order an iced tea or, whatever, and you can just chill there for 2-3 hours, pen, paper again, and do the same thing. Usually they have some nice scent, just like in those great spas and stuff like that. So, like in every city that I lived in, you have, 5 to 10 5-star hotels for sure. And I would just go 1 week to one, then 2 weeks later to the second one, and I would just circle them around. Sometimes I would stay there for lunch. Usually for me, the best time to do it is before noon, so the morning-ish time. And again, you may need to play with that as well, because maybe for you it's more in the afternoon or in the evening. Evening will be challenging because in nature it will be very dark, and in those hotels it will probably be much more crowded with other people joining in the lobby. So thankfully for me it's morning-ish time. I'm not a super early morning person, but you know, like go there at 9, 10 a.m., stay for 2-3 hours, then maybe have lunch there. And yeah, I get a shit ton of things done. Now, very important thing is I always go there with something in mind. I don't just go there and like, what do I strategize about now, and then just spend the next 2 hours thinking about it. So I already have ideas what I want to work through. Is that maybe a new marketing strategy, or maybe just doing some solid reflection on the current marketing strategy? Do we need to do something in sales? Is it something in the leadership? Is it something very strategic, vision, mission, and stuff like that? Or, you know, sometimes we have challenging clients where they have a lot of stuff that's happening, and I really need those few hours to sit down somewhere and really think things through, go through all the verticals, go through everything, so that we can best help them with the stuff that they're dealing. So to prepare a good game plan, to really think things through, the pros, the cons, do some, you know, pluses and minuses, or the SWOT analysis, and so on. So those are all the different things that I do with my strategic time. Well, I don't call it strategic time, I call it firehouse time, because maybe by now you already know that story about fireground, firehouse. So fireground is in the business, doing tasks and all of that. Firehouse is really where the magic happens, because that's where you think, you strategize, you learn, you grow, you educate yourself, you take care of the people around you, and so on. So firehouse time is very important, and I try to have a few hours of firehouse time at least every 2 weeks. That would be minimum. I most often try to do it at least once a week, but sometimes I don't. But then I never go beyond every 2 weeks. And I do find slots of time throughout the day to do some firehousing, but that's more like some quick firehousing about a specific thing. I do things like put headphones in, turn on some lo-fi music and stuff like that. But when I really need to do it for 2-3 hours, because for me that's a lot of time to just, you know, stay put and do those things, I just need to get away, because it's just so easy in my home office to find distractions. And well, just one more thing, I saw with myself that I work better even in my home office when everything is cleaned up, when, you know, things are tucked away in the drawers and away from sight, so that I have this really minimalistic desk setup. Because if I have too many things, I don't know, I just start, you know, putting things around, this here, this, that, and instead of thinking about what I should be thinking, I'm like, is this really the right place for my laptop to be? Should I put it here? Should I put it there? And then I just go down the rabbit hole instead of working on the stuff that really matters. So yeah, if you're a CEO or a senior leader, that should do a lot of firehousing, and then hopefully this video will give you some ideas and maybe spark in you to start exploring what works for you. And in the second hand, I hope this video will help you prioritize firehouse time or strategic thinking time much more, because that's what you should be doing the most. Once you reach a point where you have 10, 15 employees, and beyond, you should spend at least 50% of your working time, let's call it working time, in the firehouse, not on the fire ground. So at least 50-50, but 70-30, 70 for firehouse would be much, much better. 80, much better. 90, much better. I know you can't do 100. I don't think anybody can unless you're, you know, a CEO of a much bigger corporation, then probably you can come close to 100. You know, even if you achieve 50-50, that's already amazing. And that's where the growth is, in the firehouse, not on the fire ground. And if you want to grow your company, if you want to scale your company, you have to prioritize firehouse. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Like I said, I hope you get some ideas, and more importantly, I hope you go out and try a few different things, because maybe for you something else will work. So you just have to play around, test things, do some reflection, see, you know, did this work, did this not work, what can I change, what can I learn from this particular test, and just go from there. Having in mind, it's very important that I prioritize firehouse time. So yeah, with that said, leave me comments if you have any feedback, if you want to share how you do your firehouse time, and if you have any suggestions for what I could do more videos on, what would be valuable to you. With that said, take care guys, and see you in the next one. Bye.